the really good thing about us Filipinos is we're very lucky that we have good skin, and I'm sure a lot of us, we look a lot younger than we really are, and that's always an advantage when you get older. However, I know that just because you're born with good skin doesn't mean that you're going to keep it, so it's really important to look after your health and your skin from the inside as well as the outside. Now, I've been very lucky that I've always had younger looking skin, but if you're at that stage now where you think wrinkles, it may be time to start thinking about what you're putting on your skin. And although we eat a lot of fish in our household, I still am concerned about wrinkles and what have you, but it doesn't mean that I'm going to go out there and spending loads of money on expensive creams, and expensive being the operative word, because what I'm concerned with really is the fact that I don't want too many chemicals on my skin. And that's why about 2 years ago I used to spend about £45 per month, and that was what, 2, 3, 4 years ago, and that's quite a lot of money when you rack it up at the end of the year. But it got to a point where I learned that at midlife you get hormone imbalance anyway, and that the more chemicals you put on your skin, the more you are creating the hormone balance. So I ended up doing some research and thinking, well, how can I make things better for myself without putting so many chemicals into my skin? And that's where I started researching about organic oils, and I researched all about oils that were least likely to clog your pores, because of course there's no point putting stuff on your face when you end up with open pores, which I didn't want. I remember many years ago when I was still young, and I remember looking at this woman. She was beautifully made up, and all I could see was all the pores underneath the makeup and all the foundation, and that's what I didn't want. So that's why I was very careful and selective about the oils that I use on my face. And today that's what I'm going to do, is to show you what oils I use and how I put together my own homemade facial oil to keep my face looking younger. So if you want to keep your younger looking skin, or you want to nourish your skin without the added chemicals, keep watching. And if you like this video, remember to hit the like button down there somewhere, and remember to subscribe also if you want to see more videos from me. So here they are. The first thing is castor oil. I came across castor oil many years ago, and I thought, ooh, but I'd looked into it, did the research, and this is actually really good. For all these are all organic, really good for your skin, no extra chemicals that you're putting on and possibly affecting your hormones, because a lot of women don't realize that all these anti-aging is actually full of chemicals that disrupt hormones. And when you're in midlife, the last thing you need is anything more to give you hormone imbalance. So this is the first one. This is castor oil, and the reason I use this is basically it is quite thicker than the rest. Part of the reason I got this was because it comes with this, which is an applicator which you can use on your eyebrows and eyelashes. And I bought the castor oil for this reason, really, namely because I don't have a lot of eyebrows and it does make me self-conscious. That's why I bought it, but in all honesty I've been too lazy to wash it and use it, so there you go. So castor oil, when I start putting the oil together, you'll see it's quite a thick consistency, and for me that helps to make it feel a bit more like a cream and not just an oil. So the next one is argan oil, and I'm sure you've heard of argan oil. and the other one is jojoba oil. Now apparently jojoba oil is more similar to our natural skin oils, so that's why I've chosen that one. And rosehip oil is basically because it's got the vitamin E. I guess the reason I use rosehip oil is because I read somewhere it helps with wrinkles, and that's my vanity bit for my facial oils. This is a brown bottle that comes in a pack of 9 or something like that. The reason I mix the oil in this brown bottle is because it helps to keep the oil fresher for longer. It shouldn't be exposed to daylight basically, and that helps to stop it from going off. So before you even start, you need to do a bit of prep work. I'm a bit particular about what goes into my face, so before I even started using this, I gave it a good wash, as well as the pipette, which is what I use once I've got all the oils mixed in the bottle, and it's a case of, and then it's 4 drops. I washed both of these a couple of days ago, and I've put them in the airing cupboard just so it's nice and dry and there isn't any water moisture in either the bottle or the pipette, especially in the rubber, because for me I just feel that that's actually going to add water moisture, and in a way for me there's always that thing about water, if it's lingering for a long time, all it's doing is harboring bacteria, and the last thing you want to do is spots on your face because of bacteria either in the bottle or especially in the rubber. But that's just my presumption. I'm sure eventually there is bacteria in there. There's always bacteria everywhere anyway. But let's get to it. I'm sure you're just waiting for me to get on with it. So I always start with the castor oil first, namely because it's the thickest and it settles at the bottom, and then it allows me to judge how much I need of the other lot. Now if you can see, this is actually quite thick. It's thicker than what I'm used to, so you've really got to be a bit more careful about getting it into the bottle, because it's probably not clear but there's a lot on the outside of the pipette which can then just spill over onto the side and you'll just be wasting the oil. So that's what I do. I would put this down, but see, as you can see, that's such a waste. So you've got to be really careful. Now what I've found with this is that it really is quite thick, and when I first started using it, it gave me spots. So what I found is that I use less of it so it dilutes to the consistency that I want. So the next oil I use is the argan oil, and really in a way there isn't a magic formula if I was to be honest. You're just needing to create the oil to the consistency that you like. So as you can see, that's a bit more in there. That's the argan oil. I used about 2 pipettes. I'm not sure how clear you can see that. It's about 1/3 of the bottle. Now the next thing that's going in is the jojoba oil, and I like this because from what I've read it's about the same consistency and type as our natural skin oil, and it's really important not to mess up your skin basically. So this is, I guess, what I've put on the most. Because you want to be compatible with your skin and not mess it up with chemicals like I said previously. And lastly, I'm going to put the rosehip oil, and that basically is my version of the anti-aging. So all these oils have got lots of healthy vitamins, especially vitamin E, which is really good for keeping your skin, hair and nails really in tip-top condition. That's basically all I'm going to put in. And you may think, oh, I can put loads in, I don't have to mix too often, but it's really important to leave some gap. That's probably a bit more than what I'd leave, and I might actually put in some more of the castor oil just to top it up a little bit, hopefully. So this is the first time I'm actually mixing all the oils with this castor oil, because I'd previously used a different castor oil. I got it to the right consistency, but this is new for me. So as you can see, I've only got just over half, about 3/4 of the bottle, namely because you want some gap at the top, because if you haven't got that gap, then you won't be able to mix the oil sufficiently to get a good consistency of all the different oils together. So once you've got that, all you do then is give it a good shake and upside down, so it really is a case of giving the bottle a good mixing, because as you saw from the castor oil, it's really quite thick, and when you don't mix it enough, you've got different consistencies every time you use it. So there you go, that is my homemade facial oil, and that will probably last me 2 or 3 weeks, considering the fact that face cream can cost anything between 10, 12 to 40 plus, and I know that the really expensive ones are about 150. For me, that's just not worth it. So this is how I make my facial oil. So this is my secret to younger looking skin at 50 plus. So once you've created your facial oil, it's really good to give the individual bottles a good wipe, and to make sure that there isn't any oil stripping on the side or on the bottom that could possibly spoil the surfaces of your cupboards. So I tend to put this one back in its box. I don't know, because I'm a bit fussy like that. So I'll keep that in the box. And again, it's good that these ones aren't too messy. It is quite a messy job, so you probably need good clean tissue. Always wash your hands. That's the other important thing, is to make sure your hands are washed nice and clean and dry before you start putting your oil together. Again, what's the point of using nice organic oils when you've got dirty hands that could infect your face and give you spots? So what you want to do is keep the oils in a dark place, that way they don't get spoiled by being in daylight and ruining them before you can get through the bottles. So the one that I use on a daily basis, I really just keep it on the side, ready for when I need to use it, because for me it's too much bother to actually keep going in the cupboard. So that's the only one that I keep on the surface, ready for me to use when I need it. So I hope you've enjoyed learning about the homemade facial oil that I use and I create at home from different organic oils. I will put the link in the description down below, so if you are interested in creating your own homemade facial oil and saving yourself some money, remember to check out the links down below. And I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, remember to hit the like button, and if you want to see more videos from me, remember to subscribe. And until next time, I'll see you then.